Hey guys, James here. I wanted to take a moment to record a tutorial regarding situational awareness in ArmA. This is something that's come up a lot when I've been speaking with other players, and I find that at least 4 out of 5 players are not aware of the fact that ArmA gives you the ability to look around without actually changing the facing of your unit. This is very important because video games such as ArmA do tend to force you into a myopic state where you have a field of view that is fairly narrow, and while that is sometimes adjustable, you're still only seeing usually about 3/4 of your environment. As you are stationary, it's important. As you become mobile, it is even more important, in my opinion, that you be able to look in directions other than that in which you're moving. So I've set up a little example of how to use the Alt key, and I'm going to give you a couple of examples of how it comes in handy for me. First of all, a quick briefing. The AO here, which is inactive, but I have placed a unit, is to the north-northeast, probably approximately 030 degrees. And about maybe 200 meters. These buildings that I'm standing behind, there's one to my right and there's another one beyond that. Anything behind me is considered a safe zone right now because it's been cleared. So if I stay behind these buildings, I'm safe. Now, I might feel like I'm in a good position, but were this not a safe zone, were we deployed in mount, and I were covering the corner of a building during a bounding maneuver, somebody were moving on me, I might want to make sure that I'm not exposed, I'm covering his movement, and one way to do that is to use the Alt key to check your position. So right now I look like I'm pretty well covered behind this building, but if I use Alt and I hold Alt down with my thumb, I turn to the side, I notice that I am completely exposed. Not so much my body, but my backpack. If this were a building in mount and somebody poked around that corner, they would immediately spot me. So I need to move up a little bit. And that's a good example of how you can move and be looking in a different direction. I can move this direction, but I can look all around by holding the Alt key. And as soon as I let off of the Alt key, I'll go back to looking right where I'm looking. Take, for example, this tree. So I'm looking at that tree now. I'll use Alt. I'll take a look around me. If you have a mouse button on a gaming mouse bound to zoom, which you should, in my opinion, you can also zoom in and get a little better view of what's going on behind you. But ultimately, when you let off of the Alt key, you're still looking at the same tree. Your unit actually hasn't changed position in terms of rotation and azimuth. So how might that come in handy when you're moving? Let's consider an example where I want to cross an alleyway, for example, that's between these 2 buildings. Now a lot of times what I'll see people do is they'll move up on the building, they'll switch to a close range optic, and people will use E and Q to peek around the corner and see if they can see anything. Well, looks like the corner is clear. So I'm not really too concerned. So normally I would just run, right? Well, see, that's a bad idea. And I'll show you why. I'm going to use the Alt key to look in the direction of the AO, like this, as I cross that gap. Okay, and you notice I saw the soldier that was firing at me. I would have completely missed him had I not been looking that direction. Okay, obviously he's down. So you can see how that comes in handy. The nice thing is the Alt key is right next to your space bar, and if you're like me and you want to select something, you just smack your space bar. You probably actually heard that through the speaker because I really did smack it. A lot of times I'll use my scroll wheel to select a weapon, and then I'll hit the space bar to smack it. So all I have to do is just move my thumb over to the Alt key and change my view. And you get used to doing this. And looking around you. Anyway, I hope that's helped you out a little bit. Obviously, like anything, it takes some getting used to when you have a new key to press. But if you're not already using Alt when you're Oscar Mike to look at your surroundings, if you don't have a mouse key map to zoom, then you might want to consider doing that. It's going to help you out in more than one situation, I promise. Anyway, that's it. Feel free to join the server at CriticalBeatdown.net, and you can always contact me at ArmA@jamesplayland.com, and hope to see you guys in the game.